Hello everyone, welcome to the new video, and today we will discuss the answers for the questions that were asked to me in my last to last videos in my interview. And there were comments that I should discuss the answer for those questions, so I'm back with those answers. So first question that it was that what is .bashrc file in Linux? So .bashrc file is basically user specific file. It is present in user's home directory. Like you can set up aliases, you can set environment variable. So it is a kind of shell script that executes whenever you opened a interactive shell. So basically that bash rc file gets executed, and you can whatever the changes you are doing that gets stored in bash rc file. Setting up aliases means, suppose, list the alias that we are using ls. So in this way you can make your own alias, that all things will get stored in bash rc file. What are run levels in Linux? So basically it helps to define the state of our server according to the processes, according to the services that are running in the server. So if it is at halt, so there are total 7 run levels. It starts from 0 and ends at 6. So 0 is shutdown or halt state. 6 means reboot state. In between there will be one, it will be some state. So basically, according to this, there are total 7 run levels in Linux. Then next is what are namespaces in Linux. So basically every logical grouping of every process, that this process will consume this much CPU, this much memory. So this grouping is called namespaces in Linux. What happens when we start our Linux server? Then what is the first thing that happens? So the first thing that happen is BIOS, basic input output system, will get executed. What are daemon services in Linux? So daemon services are the background processes that run, that are continuously running in our background. Like you can say networking, you can say logging, that is continuously running in background. So how will you mount a storage? So first of all we'll do lsblk. This will show that what all storages, what all partitions are present in our storage, and what is unmounted storage. Accordingly, when we'll get the unmounted storage, we'll use first of all we'll create a file system using sudo mkdir, where we will give the file system, create the file system in one place. Then using sudo mount, we'll mount that file system to a storage which unmounted partition that we have got using lsblk. We'll mount over there. So I'll list all these commands in a description section, so you can refer it from there. What are Git semantics? So Git semantics refer to the meaning and behavior of Git commands, operation and workflow. Like how are you using Git in it? Then you then whenever whatever this will create, your working area, then your local area, your staging area, and then when you do Git add, then Git commit. So git merge. So these all the commands that we are using, that all refers to Git semantics. How will you resolve Git merge conflict issue? You have to do Git status. Then wherever the issue is occurring, you have to resolve it manually and then start adding files. So like this you can say. Then what are the branching strategy? Basically there is a main branch, then there is a develop, then there is a feature branch, there is a release branch, there is a hotfix branch. So you can tell all this, and release branch is taken from the develop branch, hotfix branch is taken from the main branch. Then in Jenkins it was a write pipeline script, so that you can try doing it, because that is basically most asked question that they can ask you to write. Syntax doesn't matter, it's just that how clear you are. Then how do you trigger pipeline for QA, dev and prod? So you can tell that you are using parameterized pipeline script where you are referring that if environment is dev, then you can directly deploy. If environment is prod, you are taking the approval and then you are going for deployment. So like this you can tell. Then in Docker, write Docker file to install Python. So I would suggest try doing it out on your own. uh, just you how you use from command, then how you set work directory using work dir, then using copy, and then you'll run using run command you'll run. Then difference between copy and add, difference between CMD and entry point, how to know port, so that if you're that you'll use expose. Difference between copy and add is basically add is helps in downloading the files from the remote location or from the URL. Copy, whereas it just copy the files which are present at our context. What is the difference between CMD and entry point? So entry point commands cannot be overridden while CMD commands can be overridden. Then Kubernetes. What is the flow when kubectl apply -f and manifest.yml file you run? So basically you have to tell that first our API manager will validate the request. Then according to our request, it will go to etcd and see that what they are requesting for, is it available. Accordingly scheduler will schedule it. Then once the scheduler is scheduled, then control managers which will always run in the background for the particular service that will get active. Kubelet and kube-proxy will be there to see that proper functioning of these pods are there. So accordingly you can tell. Then what is ingress, what kind of routing is done. So basically http, https and host based and path based routing is done. Okay. And then how does kube-proxy helps? It helps in these all this net communication networking is happening inside the cluster using inside the any cluster using kube-proxy only. So what does kubelet do? See from where the etcd is getting all the details. So this kubelet is helping to communicate. What are default namespaces like kube system, kube public? Example of services which will be in cluster IP like a database IP, because in between the read replicas, the primary database is created, then secondary database. So in between these databases, the communication should be there, but it should not be happening outside. So in AWS, what subnets are, and how do you define whether it is a public or private subnet? So basically, if there is a connection of internet gateway to for a subnet, then it is a public subnet. But if there is no connection, then it's a private subnet. So in this way, you can define. Then what is VPC peering, and then how will you expose private subnet servers to internet using NAT gateway, because NAT gateway helps in the network address translation. So basically NAT IP will be used to expose the traffic, whereas the private subnet IPs will be safe. So in this way, this define all the question answers for all the questions that I got in my interview. I have made the video. I'll provide the link in. I'll provide the link here also of that video so that you can refer the questions. So that's all for today's video. I hope it's helpful. So yeah, bye.